Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're about to unpack one of the most fascinating dualities in the entire crypto space. Today, we're looking under the hood of Binance Coin, or BNB. We're going to bridge the gap between the everyday trading utility, the stuff you might just tap on your phone, and the highly complex academic-level blockchain architecture that actually makes it all run securely in the background. It's going to be an awesome journey from the front end right through to the back end.
All right, before we dive into the deep end, let me ask you something. Take a quick mental inventory of your crypto wallet. Are you losing money on trading fees without even noticing? Trust me, it happens to the best of us. Every single time you swap, buy, or sell, a tiny little fraction just gets shaved off. But what if I told you there are some incredibly easy, almost hidden little tweaks you can make to stop bleeding your hard-earned crypto on every trade?
So here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, stop losing trading fees. 2, the BNB deflation engine. 3, inside the consensus engine. 4, proof of staked authority. And 5, the speed versus decentralization trade-off.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Stop Losing Trading Fees with some user-friendly tips.
Borrowing some fantastic insights from crypto analyst Tamer Tawfik, there are actually a few highly actionable, really simple steps to maximize your portfolio right now. First up, the absolute golden rule. You've got to enable the Pay with BNB option. Simply toggling this on in your dashboard gives you an instant 25% discount on fees. Now, obviously, to do this, you need to keep a little bit of BNB resting in your wallet, and honestly, this beautifully illustrates the most basic, everyday utility of the token. Now, for the heavy hitters out there, leveling up to VIP 1, which heads up requires a cool $1 million in monthly trading volume, well, that drops fees even further. But for the rest of us normal folks, another pro tip is to use limit orders instead of market orders. Why? Because market orders actually consume liquidity, which ends up costing you more.
Moving right along to Section 2, the BNB deflation engine, supply and demand.
Okay, so saving on fees is great and all, but what actually makes the BNB token itself potentially valuable to hold onto? Well, BNB originally launched with a total supply of 200 million tokens, but the network's ultimate goal is to slice that supply right in half, down to just 100 million. How are they pulling that off? Through a three-pronged deflationary mechanism. Step 1 is the quarterly auto burn. This is a system that automatically calculates exactly how much BNB to destroy based on its current price and on-chain activity. Step 2 is BEP95. This one is super fascinating. It's a smart contract that automatically burns 10% of the real-time gas fees collected by validators on every single block. So the more people use the chain, the faster it burns. And step 3 is the Pioneer Burn program. Basically, if you provably lose your BNB by mistake, like say sending it to a dead address, Binance actually reimburses you, but then permanently burns that equivalent amount from the total supply. It is literally a highly engineered scarcity engine.
And right here is the big contrast we really want to focus on today. On the front end, your experience as a user is beautifully simple, right? You hold a coin, you click a button, you save 25%, and the coin's supply naturally shrinks over time. But what exactly is processing that discounted trade under the hood? I mean, it's not just some spreadsheet sitting on a server. It is a highly complex, billion-dollar blockchain consensus architecture.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, inside the consensus engine, the architecture.
To truly understand how this machine operates, we're leaning heavily on a brilliant bachelor's thesis by Daniel A. DeJeso from the University of Bern. And I've got to admit, looking at the software composition model straight from the thesis, it looks exactly like the kind of intimidating abstract box and arrow chart that makes people run far, far away from computer science. But hey, don't worry, I promise we're going to break this incredibly complex software stack down into concepts that are super easy to grasp. We're going to look right past the boxes and find the actual heartbeat of the network.
All right, Section 4, Proof of Staked Authority, the engine room.
So the BNB Smart Chain is governed by a consensus mechanism called Proof of Staked Authority, or PoSA for short. Let's define what that actually means. Basically, it's a hybrid. It takes the proof of stake concept, where users lock up their tokens to help secure the network and earn rewards, and it mashes it up with proof of authority, where a fixed, trusted set of validators are exclusively responsible for producing and verifying the blocks. Think of proof of stake as putting down a massive security deposit to prove you're serious, and proof of authority as being handed an exclusive VIP badge to run the network. It's custom designed to be incredibly fast, but as we're about to see, it requires some serious skin in the game.
2,000. That is the massive minimum number of BNB tokens a node has to stake just to be considered as a candidate to validate transactions. To put that into perspective for a second, at recent valuations, 2,000 BNB is well over $1 million.
You literally can't just spin up a laptop in your garage and start validating blocks on this network. The barrier to entry is intentionally astronomical to ensure a very serious financial commitment.
But wait, having $1 million in BNB still isn't quite enough. 45 is our next magic number. Out of all those wealthy candidates out there, only the top 45 with the absolute highest amount of delegated stake actually get considered for the block verification process. Delegated stake just means everyday users can pool their own BNB and vote for these candidates, adding to their total power.
And then we zoom all the way into the microscale, exactly 21. Out of those top 45 candidates, only 21 validators are chosen per epoch to actually produce and sign the blocks. Think of them as a rotating board of directors for the blockchain. They process your trades, they collect the gas fees, and they keep the entire network moving at absolute lightning speed.
Now, you might be wondering, how do these 21 directors decide who goes next? Well, they aren't drawing straws, and they definitely aren't relying on pure random chance. As the University of Bern thesis points out, the rotation is completely governed by a deterministic shuffling algorithm. That means the selection is based on highly predictable pseudo-random functions. It's way less like rolling dice and more like a roulette wheel where the casino already knows exactly where the ball is going to land based on a complex math formula. Because it's deterministic, it's incredibly efficient. No one is wasting computing power guessing whose turn it is, but it also means the rotation is entirely predictable if you know the math.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section, Section 5, the speed versus decentralization trade-off, the dilemma.
That predictability we just talked about, that leads us straight into the major revelation from the academic analysis of this chain. Let's look at the bigger picture here. By using just 21 validators and targeted communication methods like gossip protocols, the BNB Smart Chain achieves blazing fast transaction speeds and fast block finalization. I mean, when you click trade, it happens almost instantly. But the trade-off is stark. Because the validator shuffling is predictable, and because you need literally millions of dollars to compete, we see a massive concentration of voting power. This inherently creates a highly centralized structure, which poses a very real risk to the traditional crypto ideals of fairness and true decentralization.
To keep things totally impartial, let's look at the exact conclusion from that University of Bern analysis. Quote, "The analysis of the validator shuffling mechanism has shown a distinct imbalance in the selection of validators. This strengthens a centralized structure." End quote. The academic data objectively shows us that the exact same architecture making our trades wonderfully cheap and incredibly fast also fundamentally limits the diversity and decentralization of the network itself. The top validators receive almost all the delegated stakes, creating an environment that is highly prone to power concentration. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a real thought provoker. You now see both the front-end utility and the back-end reality. Is saving 25% on your trading fees and enjoying blazing fast, cheap transactions really worth putting the ultimate trust of the network into the hands of just 21 predictable validators? It is the ultimate dilemma in modern blockchain design, walking that very delicate tightrope between everyday convenience and true underlying decentralization. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore the mechanics of BNB, and hey, keep asking those big questions.